I was born and raised here in Ada, as well as my husband, and we want to continue to stay here. We love this community. We plan on raising our family here, and this sales tax is a great way to help build Ada's future.
In 1983, Ada voters approved a penny sales tax to fund construction of the new Valley View Hospital. That penny has been on the local tax roll since then, but is set to expire this year. Now, 27 years later, the City of Ada has an opportunity to pick up the same penny for a limited run of 5 years and make some much needed and long overdue improvements. By using the same penny, citizens will avoid a tax increase. Ada's current sales tax rate is 9.1875%. The City of Ada collects 4%, or 4 pennies on every dollar. 2 of those pennies are permanent and go toward general operations such as police and fire protection. A 3rd penny is temporary and is split between Propositions 1 and 2. Proposition 1 is a 3/4 cent sales tax earmarked for infrastructure improvements such as streets, alleys, and water and sewer systems. Proposition 2 is a 1/4 cent sales tax earmarked for economic development use only. By law, the money generated by these propositions cannot be used in any other way. The 4th penny is the Valley View Hospital tax, which will be retired this year. This is also a temporary penny, the same one the City of Ada can use to make major community improvements. The penny sales tax would be used for an engineering study on the city's raw water transmission lines, the construction of new public safety facilities for the fire, police, and 911 departments, the construction of a new sports complex, installation of new street and signal posts in the downtown district, and the renovation of City Hall and other buildings. Over its 5-year lifespan, the temporary penny would raise an estimated $16.5 million, and that figure is based on collection rates in recent years. The combined cost of the targeted projects is about $15 million, but could be a little more or less. The city has 2 main lines that transmit raw water from Birds Mill Spring to the water treatment plant. The newer water line was constructed in the 1970s. The older line was built in the 1920s. Both lines need a careful, involved study to determine the best way to use them in the future.
A portion of the proposed 1 penny will be used to evaluate improvements to our well field, improvements to Birds Mill Spring, the raw water lines that bring water to Ada, as well as improvements to our water treatment plant.
This engineering study will focus only on the raw water lines and has nothing to do with the Arbuckle-Simpson Aquifer, the proposed Scissortail Lake, or any other secondary water source. The estimated cost of the engineering study is $1 million. Central Fire Station was built in 1909 as part of the original Ada City Hall. Aside from some remodeling in the 1930s, the building has been essentially the same for more than 100 years.
Well, the age of the building, it's so old it violates practically all of our building codes. Your life safety codes, your Americans with Disabilities Act. It doesn't adhere to any of the electrical or the heating and air conditioning or the plumbing codes.
The engine bays at Central Fire Station are too narrow for modern fire trucks and equipment, making it more difficult for firefighters to respond to emergency calls quickly.
Back in the early 1900s, fire trucks were so much smaller than the trucks of today, so the bays didn't really need to be any larger. Today, a fire truck averages 35 feet long. It weighs over 20 tons. Fire trucks of the early 1900s were the size of the passenger car you drive to work every day. Every day we pull the trucks out, we have to check all of our equipment, we check the fluids on the trucks. They protrude out so far into the street, it really it exposes our firefighters to oncoming traffic, and it's a danger.
The building is difficult to maintain, there is no room for growth or even storage, and it is not suitable for habitation by both genders. A new fire station will be designed to accommodate much larger trucks and equipment, a diversified firefighting force, and have room to expand in the future. The estimated cost of a new fire station is $3.5 million. The Ada Police Department has occupied the same building since 1963. The force has tripled in size, but the space has remained the same. It's a cramped space for officers as well as citizens.
The department's not geared towards public interaction very well at this point. It wasn't designed with that in mind. You're going to have people in the hallway, and that's where we have to meet with them. We have no place to do that, so this is it.
Like Central Fire Station, the Ada Police Station has no storage space. Evidence and other items have to be stored in non-secure areas. The police department also has issues accommodating both genders on the force.
The department's had as many as 4 female police officers. We have 1 locker room that has to be shared by both genders, And as such, we had to take the bathroom out so we wouldn't have issues with that.
The Ada Police Department also maintains and operates an old jail, which takes up a significant portion of the station's square footage.
Hopefully we'll contract with the county jail in order to take advantage of their brand new facility and get us out of the jail business, which would be good for the city and be good for the county as well.
Closely related to the police and fire departments in terms of emergency response is the 911 dispatch department, which in fact is often the first line of response in emergency situations. The department is currently housed in the end of the city utilities building. 911 dispatchers handle an average of 1,000 emergency and non-emergency calls each week, with 3 dispatchers per shift. If more than 3 calls come in simultaneously, callers may encounter busy signals.
We try to anticipate events to have more people here when we need them, and there'd be less of a likelihood of you getting a busy signal. Crime that's in progress, a weather event, just whatever we deem necessary to bring up the number of dispatchers necessary to support the field agencies.
Other issues facing the current 911 dispatch department are lack of space for people and system hardware and the inability to handle in-person emergency reports. A new police station will incorporate the 911 dispatch department and will be designed to accommodate a much larger and diversified force and have room to expand in the future. The estimated cost of a new police and 911 station is $3.5 million. There are several reasons the city of Ada needs a new sports complex. Foremost, the city does not own Matthews Park. It belongs to the cement plant. Equally as important, there is no room for expansion at that location.
Well, basically, we're limited space-wise. We have a 4-field complex. Most communities have gone to an 8-field complex and then added in football and soccer fields onto those. Some have done splash parks as a part of that. Most have done playgrounds so kids, the smaller kids can play. So what we're looking at is incorporating some of those things. We really have no room for any of those right now. You can see we're bordered by the cement plant on the west. We have railroad tracks on the north, and we're bounded by a neighborhood on 2 sides. So we have no room for expansion.
A new state-of-the-art sports complex would also generate more business for Ada merchants and bolster local sales tax revenue.
It's a tremendous economic boost. You have folks that come for the weekend, whether it's a T-ball, a Little League, whatever it is. There's a tremendous influx of folks that come in and they buy gas, they eat, they go to convenience stores, they eat at our restaurants, they fill our hotels up. The communities that have those are very pleased with the amount of folks that they bring in.
A sports complex would provide residents with one location for all sports, would include other family-oriented amenities, and would bring many visitors to Ada. The estimated cost for a new sports complex is $4 million. Ada's downtown district is its historic heart and should be preserved and improved for future generations to enjoy. The light and signal poles in that area are old, rusted, and in some cases damaged. It's an unsightly part of an otherwise proud business community.
Downtown Ada is the history of our town, and we need to preserve that and improve on it for our future generations.
New signal and light poles would improve the looks of the downtown district and remove the unsightly and potentially hazardous overhead wiring currently found in that area. The estimated cost for the downtown improvements is $2 million. If new fire, police, and 911 facilities are constructed, the city will renovate City Hall and Central Fire Station to gain more office and storage space. Plans for a renovated Central Fire Station include some sort of community use, since the building is located near the heart of downtown and is historic in nature. The estimated cost for these renovations is $1 million. It is important to understand the penny does not represent an increase in sales taxes. The tax rate would stay the same for 5 more years. The new cent would not begin until the Valley View Hospital cent has expired. It's also important to understand that with the sales tax, the improvements would be funded by visitors as well, easing the burden of local residents.
I think it's a prime opportunity for us to take care of this issue now while we have a tax continuation instead of a tax increase. Might as well take care of it while we have the chance instead of passing on to our kids and grandkids.